Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going to r/entitled people, where the people are very entitled. If you enjoy, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Now without further ado, let's get started, shall we? My father won't allow me to date my Muslim boyfriend. Advice. I'm going to try and keep it simple. I am a 19 female Catholic, and my boyfriend is a 20 male Muslim, both not practicing religion. My mom has met my boyfriend, and she adores him and treats me extremely well and is so genuine towards me. I truly love him and have been together for about a year. We spend a lot of time together and never argue at all. My father, who is not with my mother and now do not live with as of 4 years ago, has controlled me my whole life. Financially, living situations, work, education, so on. I recently told one of my aunties who I trusted to keep things private about my boyfriend, as she tends to confide in me a lot about her personal life. However, she started telling other family members, who bullied me into telling me my father. My father has gone into a rage about the situation. He calls me every day to tell me that I'm disgusting and throw around insults. He has also threatened to take matters into his own hands, which I assume is hurting my boyfriend if I don't break up with him. He has also played around with stopping talking to me. I am not ready to introduce them to each other with how aggressive and violent my dad is being. I would not want to anytime soon. My dad has been laughing when I cry. I have been struggling to eat and I genuinely do not feel happy. My boyfriend has been super supportive and has tried to comfort me through all of this. I am unsure what to do in this situation. Does anyone have any advice? You're an adult. Your dad doesn't live with you. Ignore his racist rants and live your life. Cut him off. It will be hard at first, but your life is not his to live or direct. The family members that back him up and gossip can also be cut off. You've got your mom and she is fine with everything. That's all you need for family. On to the next story. Mom hasn't acknowledged my engagement. Cross-posted from toxic parents. My parents have always been very high-conflict people. Bad marriage, terrible financial decisions. Both are emotionally immature and they always had people living in their house. It was really hard growing up in their household. I used to think my mom was the victim in her marriage, and then I realized she has no backbone and is a major enabler. My dad is a narcissist, and they both don't have any accountability. I've been extremely low contact with them for about 2 months. I got engaged on Sunday. On Monday, I texted them both to let them know so they would hear it from me before posting pictures and before telling extended family members. My dad texted back after a few hours and it was a polite text. My mom, however, did not text back. I figured sharing my Instagram post to Facebook, I never post on Facebook anymore, thinking it could be another way to give my mom a chance to acknowledge the engagement. She didn't interact with the post. My dad left a polite comment. I later spoke to my sister, who was in contact with my mom, but supportive of my decision to be low contact. And she said my mom told her that she was hurt my fiance didn't ask their permission or include them in the engagement. She also said my aunt called to congratulate her, implying I called and told my aunt first, and she heard the news from my aunt. This is simply not true. I texted my parents first thing in the morning, waited hours before posting anything to make sure they saw the text, which I know they did because my dad replied to my text, and texted my aunt around lunch. Lastly, she said she hadn't seen the Facebook post because I am not friends with her. Also a complete lie. I'm just really frustrated and hurt. I acknowledge and understand being low contact is probably painful to her and hurts her feelings. I understand the implications of what I'm doing, but I did go out of my way to inform them so they would hear it from me. I strongly believe that merits a basic, polite acknowledgement, regardless of her feelings. I didn't have to tell them. I know I didn't get to eat my cake and have it too. But this is a major life event. A polite text would have shown me she's understanding why I'm low contact and on a path to healing, but it's clear that she is not. Yeah, she's trying to make your big moment about her, OP. Move on. That victim mentality and need for being the center of attention, even if it hurts her relationship with you, will never go away in my experience. She can have her pity party. Go enjoy your life, and congratulations on the engagement. Good job. Now on to the next story. My mom stalks my location and questions where I'm at and who I'm with constantly. I, 24 female, still live with my parents. I still financially depend on them in the sense I cannot afford my own rent, so I stay here for free. Years ago, I added my family on Find My Friends because I didn't see the big deal. I don't really care about my friends and family having my location, but my mom in particular always interrogates me on where I am and who I'm with, and if she doesn't recognize the location. As I'm dating, this becomes very uncomfortable, as I don't feel the need to explain myself, nor do I want to share every life detail with my parents. This irritates me and we have argued about it many times. In the past, I made the mistake of telling her I was seeing someone and was with them. When I went to his house, she spam called me and told me that she thought it was too early for me to be at his house, and that I should not get intimate with him in any way. I got upset, feeling invaded on my privacy, and also was very embarrassed, hoping the person didn't hear the phone call. I was in the other room, but still, I now avoid telling her about these things and lie that I'm at a friend's house, or out with a friend. I've been seeing someone for a couple months now, and have been at their house more often. I just tell her I'm at a friend's house, and she has accused me of lying. When I've taken off the location in the past, she throws a fit and says that she's my mom, and that she's worried about me, and that I should be glad that she cares. I don't feel this way. I'm just frustrated and feel that I'm at the age now I don't need to disclose anything. I just wanted some insight. Thank you. Turn off your location finder, OP. If your mom throws a fit, remind her that her parents did not track her electronically. I have 2 adult children in their 20s. I cannot imagine feeling a need to track their movements. I do have the Find My set up for my mom's cell phone. I set it up when we traveled to Jordan last year. I also had air tags in our purses and suitcase. Mom has no idea how to track me with her phone, but in an emergency, I'm sure it could be used to find me. Now, just so everyone in chat knows, I'm reading on the comments, I don't actually have kids. The narrator does not have kids, just saying. On to the next story. My dad tries to do everything in his power to prevent me from moving out, and treats me like a child even though I'm 20 and I am sick of it. I've been struggling financially ever since I became an adult due to unstable jobs, unemployment, and random car repairs. I have lived with my parents since I was 15, so they feel like they need to raise me again since my grandparents did it incorrectly apparently. The problem is, they're still treating me as if I'm a teenager that needs constant parental control and supervision even though I am 20 years old, and it's really messing with my mental health. When I was 19, I finally acquired a stable job and car, so I tried to move in my friend's house. My mom was okay with that as long as I'm happy and safe, but my dad absolutely freaked out and told me I'm making a stupid decision and I will freak the whole family and my future over if I do this. Overall, just trying his hardest to guilt trip me into thinking I'm doing something wrong just by leaving. When I did pack up my most valuable stuff and leave, my dad begged me to come home and talk it out with him and work on the business he spent all his money on. I foolishly obliged, and when I came home, he spent 3 hours trying to talk me out of it, and I listened to him patiently. Then, when it was finally my turn to speak, I tried to remind him that I'm a legal adult, even if I don't look like one, and I'll be fine on my own. He wouldn't even let me get through 2 sentences before he interrupted me and screamed, "No, that's childish, foolish and childish. You're not an adult, your frontal lobe isn't fully developed. You can't make it on your own. This isn't the 1950s. and this made me feel like shit. And I knew he planned on using that dialogue no matter what I tried to retort with, and neither of us was going to change our minds no matter what. Eventually, we made an agreement that I'll pay a small amount of rent to my friends for a room in their house, for less than half the price of normal rent would cost, but spend half of my week at my parents' house and go back and forth. He used the business we started as an excuse to keep me there, always calling me and cutting my time short, demanding I come home because there's work that needs to be done. I didn't want to ruin our relationship because he spent a lot of money getting it started, but it hasn't really gone anywhere even though I do work on it. Anyways, my original plan was to just slowly move all my stuff to my friend's house, and eventually I'll move into my friend's house, and I'll fully move in with my friends. This was a few months back, and I know he was being shitty and manipulative, but I wasn't sure how else to deal with it. About a month and a half into this ordeal, someone crashed into my car and destroyed it, and because of this I lost my job, so I could no longer pay rent, and I was forced to move back in with my parents. When the insurance finally paid out, I accidentally bought a lemon of a car, and it bankrupted me with a bunch of random mechanical issues, and in the end left me stranded on the side of the road with a $500 tow yard fee that was paid by my mom because I already spent all of my money on my new job on the last repair. A few weeks ago, bought an old running car from a family friend for $250 and spent my last paycheck getting the tires replaced and fixing the transmission problem it had. Thankfully, my mechanic said this car was in way better shape than the other two combined, so I shouldn't have to worry about unexpected future repairs eating my wallet up. I'm currently broke and in debt to my mom because she helped me pay for the new car and my repairs, and the tow yard and everything. I'll be able to pay her off with my next paycheck, but I'll eat half of it up. They found a house that's closer to my job, 15 minutes instead of 45 minutes away, and applied to rent for it. And I didn't want to leave them in the mud, so I agreed to help them rent it and send my pay stubs. I think I might have made a mistake, but I'm not sure what I was supposed to do. My parents expect me to live with them until I finish school, and I don't want that. My dad is delusional and thinks I need to be protected, and I'm immediately going to become homeless or kidnapped or whatever if I move out, so he expects me to live with them until I finish school. I hate living with my parents because even though they look out for me and they feed me and they always save me when I have to pay for something I'm unable to, my dad has an extremely toxic and clingy personality, and I'm not happy having to deal with him every goddamn day. He's always insulting me and demeaning my hobbies and acting like I'm wasting time when I'm being creative and working on my own personal projects. Whenever he comes home from work and I'm in my room, he calls my cell phone and acts like I'm doing something wrong by having alone time. And God forbid I'm doing art instead of being in the living room rewatching some stupid show with him or doing chores. He's always making my dating input when I don't want it and asks if every girl I go on a date with is my girlfriend now. And I think it's really frustrating and uncomfortable how he forces me to label what I'm doing and tell him what I'm up to all the time. Every time I'm out of the house outside of work hours, he has to call me and ask what I'm doing, and if I don't answer the phone, he gets all angry when I get home and tells me how worried he was and how cruddy it was of me not to tell him, even though I do it because I'm trying to prove the point that I'm independent and I'll just call them if there's an emergency. I know I still look like a troubled teenager in his eyes, but I really am an adult now, and I honestly hate being around him every day because I hate how he treated me when I was 17, and I think our personalities just clash too much, and we really aren't compatible to live together without fighting for control and my own privacy. I know for a fact I would have created and sold so much more art if I went for him always trying to shut my creativity down and getting mad at me for wasting my time doing personal projects instead of chores or whatever. He is just overall very manipulative and clingy and controlling, and I feel as if I can't fully be myself and teach my full potential as long as I live with him, because he always has to use his parental authority over me. I am not okay with the way he continues to treat me like a child, and I just desperately want to live on my own without him constantly taking my spare time and getting my business and having to listen to him throw an adult temper tantrum at least once a week. I'm trying to figure out how to get my own place without his interference. I already have a few friends who would be down to move in with me. I think I'm going to save up for my own rental and post my room on Facebook and Craigslist, so I can move and find someone to take my place and help them pay rent, so they don't get evicted. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoy it. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and all that other stuff. I will see you all next time.